Hey y'all, I'm cooking in my moo-moo. If that bothers you, this probably isn't the video for you. Let me tell you, it's been a day. So, I gotta tell you all about the excitement. So, y'all know, we're making baked ziti, so you guys have all seen me do this. It's just the easiest, quickest thing that I had most of the ingredients for, and we're just making it happen. This is no salt seasoning. This is salt. This is black pepper. I'm trying something new tonight. This is roasted garlic paste, which I want to wait. Hang on, I'll wait on those. So actually, this is not my regular beef. This is store bought because I didn't want to stay here and fight with Ronan frozen beef tonight. Just didn't want to. I've had a day. I've had a day, honey. My town has had a day. You know, it's just, it's been utterly devastating to see what my county and my town is going through. So, that being said, let me tell you how the day has transpired for us over here at the Bakers. So, let me just go back to last night. That might be easier. So last night, as most of you already know, I'm getting some of this grease out. Most of you already know, London, Kentucky was hit with a very substantial, very strong, on the ground for a very long time, tornado. Okay? The tornado that hit us was on the ground for well over an hour, and the supercell that hit us yesterday morning, or this morning, about 1 a.m.-ish, somewhere between 12:30 and 1 a.m., I don't know, had originated out of Missouri and had dropped multiple tornadoes on its way to here. Okay? So that's the important thing that you need to know up front. That this was not your normal southeastern Kentucky tornado situation. Here in the mountains, or, you know, where we live here, generally tornadoes don't get to pick up that much steam. Because generally, this is roasted garlic paste. Y'all know how I feel about garlic. I'm just gonna be generous. It smells amazing. We've also got some Italian herb paste. And I thought that sounded cool. So I'm gonna do that too. Now, like I said, normally we don't get F3, F4, F5 tornadoes. Nobody, the Weather Center has not made an official call yet, but I have seen online they're saying now this was an F4 tornado. And again, we don't get those kind of tornadoes here. Most of the time, even with a direct hit, a well-built home might lose a roof or lose a wall, but today, guys, we've seen houses that were completely gone. Nothing left but a concrete slab. And my heart is broken for these people, okay? Broken. Because whether or not you have insurance or whatever, no insurance payout is ever going to replace your great-grandmother's china hutch or your mom's wedding china that was in the hutch. You know, and yes, everybody's so thankful to be alive and all the things. I get it. We are too, because the path of this tornado went about a quarter mile from our apartment. I can drive right down the road about a quarter of a mile, and I'm standing in the middle. That was a can of diced tomatoes, for anybody's wondering. I can stand right in the middle of the path of where this storm went through last night. And it terrifies me. Anthony, you're going to come have to help in this pasta sauce. It terrifies me to think that just a quarter of a mile in any direction could have meant a whole lot different day for me and my family. There are confirmed, last I've seen, 23 deaths in our county, 30 total. Hun, I need this pot. I'll bring it to you. Hang on. Oh, hang on, guys. Baby. Hey. Hello. I didn't know if you heard me wrong. I need to go. Yeah, okay, man. What? Get straight a little bit. I see you. Okay. So anyway.
Your mama's. Make sure there's something coming off.
Yeah, your mama's tightened it down. So, while we all are very thankful, I'm also very aware that things could have been a lot different this morning for me and my family than it was. So, that all being said, here's what had happened. Because you know, honey, you know that your buddy Lacey right here ain't done nothing without activating some kind of drama, not of my own doing, but just, you know, it just seems to just be where I am. Well, anyway, Alexa, how much time's left on timer?
You have 40 seconds left on your 10-minute timer.
Hey, babe, can you get me one of those metal pans off the top of that cabinet? Where? Oh, yay! Okay, good deal. Lights, some lights in here. Anyway, so it started around 12:30 last night. I was thinking I was on live with you guys when the first tornado warning came through. Okay. So at 12:30 they're like, hey, y'all listen, it's about to get real out here. Alexa, stop timer. It's coming. This is where it is. I was like, okay. That's normally in our county, if anybody's going to get any tornadic activity, it's going to go to the north. It's going to head straight across the northern part of our county. And like I said, you know, we had a bad one back there in 2012, I think it was. That was very devastating, killed several people. But this side of the county does not see tornadoes. We just don't. It just doesn't. I don't know if there's going to be room enough for all this or not. Or we'll stick it to the bottom of the pan. So, about 12:30, the first tornado warning came through. Now, they kept extending the tornado warning. I think, you know, I think the storm kind of stalled out. A lot of people thought there were multiple tornadoes. I think there were 2 confirmed tornadoes is what I understand. Now keep in mind, y'all, this is all information being derived from social media posts. I think earlier today I had posted I just shared a post that somebody else had shared that wasn't even a picture of the tornado that was here. For that, I apologize. It was not intentional. I just didn't know that it wasn't our tornado. So, we go into the bathroom, and I get pillows, blankets, everything. When I hear where it's at and what direction it's headed, I know enough about the geography of where I live to know this thing is fixing to be right on top of us. It's absolutely going to hit us head on. And so I went into terrified mom mode. The lights started flickering pretty early into the whole situation, and we eventually lost power. Now when we lost power was when things really started to take a turn sideways. When the power went out and all the ambient noise was gone, and there was no fans, no air conditioners, no nothing, and all you could hear was the weather reports coming through on the phones. I'm popping this in the oven. It's topped with cheese. It's gonna be delightful. Oh God. I'm gonna have some canned chicken and Caesar salad for my dinner. But I've got enough baked ziti to cover today and tomorrow. Right now I have to go and get in the bed for just a second. Sorry guys. I'm getting there, I promise. It's gonna take me a minute. Honey, I'm gonna go get in the bed for a little bit, okay? The ziti's in the oven.
Okay.
And I think if you'll set a timer on your phone for about 35 minutes, it should take care of it. Alright guys, hang on a second. Just bear with me, okay? I'll finish the story, I promise. It gets wild. Hold on. Woo. 1, 2, 3. I actually think the first live I did was from in here last night. And that's when we got the warning. Now normally, a tornado warning wouldn't really, like I said, stress me out that bad, because we don't get big hefty tornadoes like this. But anyway, Lord, let's get rid of Chris out here looking for love. Okay. My knees, my hips, everything, it hurts so bad. Scare this guy too. Hang on, guys. I do, Marsha. I'm going to make an appointment this week. I've got to go and get an x-ray of my hip because it never lasts this long. I don't know what's going on. So, after the tornado warning, I took pillows, blankets, everything. I put Bannon in the bathtub. Because the bathroom is the most interior room in our apartment. It has no outer walls, and it has the bathtub. We went into the bathroom, we hunkered down, and we put, all the pillows, everything we could pile up in there, we piled it up. Got the dogs in there. Everything. Thank you for the stars, Lucretia. Appreciate it. Everything was, you could hear everything outside. The thunder was so loud that it was shaking the glass in my cabinets. I've got a china cabinet in the hallway, and you could hear the glass rattle. Horrible thunder and lightning, horrible. And then all of a sudden, the second tornado warning, or it wasn't a second tornado warning, they extended the first one, because I believe when the storm actually started hitting, it was going through the woods, through the forest, and da-da-da, and then all of a sudden it hit that subdivision, and it dropped down and hit that, and I think when it hit that it kind of slowed it down a little bit or something. So we got the second tornado warning came across my phone, and it was like London Airport. Everybody kept saying the airport, the airport, the airport. And I was like, that's literally right in front of our house. I talk to you guys when I'm outside all the time. You hear the airplanes going over, and I always talk about how the airport, we're in the landing pattern. So when I seen that, when I started seeing things about the airport and the direction that the storm was moving, I knew we were in the direct path. And I just started praying, y'all. I prayed. I said the Lord's Prayer. And then something spoke to my spirit, was like, speak Psalm 91 over your family and your home right now. And I started saying the 91st Psalm. And it was like, I don't know, just a peace came over me. And then all of a sudden everything got really quiet and the power went out. The lights flickered and flickered and flickered, and then they finally went out. When the lights went out and there was no other noise, we could hear, Anthony says he didn't hear it. But of course Anthony, it's just Anthony. I could hear, I knew it was close, but I continued to speak the 91st Psalm. And guys, keep in mind, by this time it's 12:30, it's 1 o'clock in the morning. I mean, y'all, here's what you don't understand. Everybody was in the bed. All the people, everybody, all these people, they were just in their beds thinking the same thing I was thinking, like, we don't get these heavy duty tornadoes here. And I started talking. And I started talking to God. And Jesus. And I just had a peace. I just had a peace come over me, because in my mind I was starting to think, like, if we get a direct hit from this, I don't know if we're going to make it. And I know a lot of people were having that fear last night, and I just started thinking about Bane, and I was like, well, if I get in there and I cover him with my body, and Anthony comes in and we both cover him with our body, if we cover him, he might be able to make it. I'm so scared. And you could hear it roaring. And it was so quiet. Everything, the lightning and the thunder had all stopped. And there's just this tornado. And then, after a little bit it passed, and they gave everybody the all clear. They said the storm has moved out of the area. And I got on the phone with Amy. Amy was out of town, and I called Amy, and I said, Amy, I don't know. I said, it come right through by your house, and I don't know. And she said, well, my dogs are home. Will you please go check? And I said, if I can get there, I'll go. And I didn't mean to get emotional, y'all. I'm just now realizing how fortunate we were. And the closer we got to Amy's house, we started down one road, the road here by our house, and it was completely blocked. Power lines and debris, just parts of people's houses and metal off barn roofs and just everything just in the road you couldn't get through. And so we turned around and we started back down the other road, and we couldn't get down that way at first either, and we went and checked on our house, and then we came back out. We saw that the pet store, the little pet store right there where you turn in to go to Amy's house, there's a little pet store, and it took a direct hit pretty much, and the whole thing was just, the front of it was gone. And Anthony tried to talk me out of it. He said, Leslie, please, let's just go home. You can't hardly walk, please. And I just couldn't leave them. I couldn't leave them animals. I couldn't do it. And the storms were over, and we had Dana in the back seat, and he was content with his tablet, and we weren't in the way. So we pulled off the road, and there was a couple of people there besides me, and I couldn't get through to get in because my mobility is just not 100 right now. And I said, I think there's a side door back there. There has to be a back door. I said, if one of y'all feel safe and can crawl in, go open that back door and we'll try, because the back of the building was still standing. So we finally got into the pet shop, and guys, I can't even describe that to you. Animals everywhere, and strangely, most everything was still alive. Of course, the power was gone, so a lot of the fish and the amphibians and the lizards and stuff they have the big parrots, the big macaws, and the cockatoo, and the cockatiel, and the parakeets, and they had puppies, and ferrets, and gerbils, and mice, and pretty, like, run-of-the-mill pet store, guys. I had everything. And so, that was right in the path of the tornado, and there was emergency workers everywhere that they were focused on trying to dig people out of houses, and trying to get people took care of. There was no way for us to help anywhere except the pet store. So we went into the pet store. I did. Anthony stayed in the car abandoned. I used my Yukon for a holding area. We ended up, let's see, I had, at one point, I had a whole little pet taxi full of parakeets. One of them little suckers bit me, too, on my finger, and it hurts. They were soaking wet and cold, and I knew if we didn't get some heat on them, they were going to die. No, Joanne, you didn't see that. That's not what you saw. What you saw is in that picture. I'm taking off my coat, and the inside of my coat is white. So I really hope that, you know what, how about kiss my grits, okay? I ain't got no need to steal no birds. That's what I'm getting to. Oh, gosh, here we go. You brought baby. He was fine, y'all. He was fine. I went to check on Amy's house, and the pet store is right there. I didn't take him out. We weren't out sightseeing or nothing like that. We went into the pet. I went in. I personally, I did. I went into the pet store to try to help these trapped animals get out. And so this morning, I wake up, and there is a picture, which is what this lady's in here flapping her gums about. You go back and tell everybody that I said to kiss my hind end. So this morning I wake up, there's a picture of me standing in the parking lot of the pet store, and I'm taking off my coat, and the inside of my coat is white. And one of the birds that they had, they said was, when they posted this morning, they're like, there was like somebody looted, and they were basically insinuating that I was over there looting and stealing large birds. Which now that I think about it, it's hilarious. But so I've been getting messages, threatening messages all day from people that don't know me saying, "You better bring these birds back." The only birds I ever had in my car were some parakeets. There were people there looting. I did see that with my own eyes. They were carrying out like merchandise. Like one girl carried out this big giant cat tree, and I tried to stop her, and she just kept running to her car. Hey, Marsha, I don't care. You can kiss my hind end too. Hallelujah. Okay, there you go. So I don't even need to look at these comments. Y'all are just about to make me mad. So I don't know. I had 2 ferrets, a whole pet taxi full of rabbits, little bitty, tiny little bunnies, and we had 2 ferrets, bunnies, parakeets, 2 puppies, and all that was in my Yukon with the heat on. And other people had lizards, tarantulas, geckos, iguanas. Somebody came out carrying a pretty good sized iguana. Axolotls. Somebody was taking. They went back there and started taking. Trying to get the turtles and all the things. So anyway, everybody was pitching in, trying to help. Some people were not. Some people were there to just pick up and steal what they could steal. And there was like 20 people, 30 people there carrying stuff out of this pet store. And look, here's the thing about it. I probably wouldn't have said hardly anything about being at the pet store much. Because don't let the left hand know what or right hand know what the left hand's doing, or whatever it says. But y'all, they raked me over the coals today. I'm talking about people acting like I literally went in there and stole the birds. I never touched their birds. I did see their birds. I know who took their birds. And the thing of it is, earlier today, they accounted for all the birds. And, I have reached out to them multiple times and was like, hey, remember me? The one that was there last night and gave you all your animals back out of my car? The owners is who I'm talking about. And they couldn't even be bothered today, which I know they've had a rough day, so I ain't going to really say much about it. But they couldn't even be bothered today to, they finally did take the post down of my picture, but there should have been a follow-up like, hey, by the way, guys, this lady in this picture didn't take anything. She was helping. She was one of the first ones there. So, yeah. Oh, Lord. I don't know why I do it, Dutch and Ann Hawk's whole schema. I don't know. That's what you get, right? That's what you get for trying to help. And then I've had, and I'm like, I've been dealing with this all day. So it's been a day. I mean, I'm out here being accused of looting tropical birds. Lord honey. Only me. You know, today I was thinking about Amy Slayton on 1,000 Pound Sisters, and I was thinking where they've been laughing at her because she got bit by that camel, you know, and she's like, well, only me, you know, get bit by a camel. Well, that's me today. Me being accused of stealing them birds. It's only me. There was, like I said, there's 20, 30 people running around this pet store last night, and somehow or another, mine is the only picture that got posted. I had one guy message me earlier today threatening me. I mean, seriously, I don't understand. I'm out here trying to do the right thing, trying to love my animals, trying to love all the animals. And what do I get? What do I get? I get accused of looting and stealing these tropical birds. Now, there was some people there taking stuff, but nobody, they got all their birds back. Like, all the animals, like, some people fostered animals, they got all the birds and everything back. But no, people were stealing, like, cat trees and dog food and bird cages. I stopped some of them. I was like, hey, them cages are empty, put them down. Like, I was trying to help the looting situation. This is what I get. I get myself in these situations. Amy's house, okay, so Amy has woods behind her house. They're gone. Her roof is kind of lifted up a little bit. She's going to have to probably get some work done, busted some windows out, and there's metal and mattresses and everything. Sorry about that, guys. The internet's going in and out. So, make a long story short, y'all, here's the deal. If you live here in London, and Royal, no, they have. Last I heard, Bill, they call it Bill, Bill. He died. He did not make it through. And then the horses in the barn are fine. Yes, everything's good. Yeah, I agree with you, Teresa. They do. They need to make a post. And I'm going to give a few days to do it because I know they're overwhelmed. Tammy, there was no time for that. I'm sorry, guys, but I'm just not the sit back and wait kind of girl. If I see something and I know there's, you know, people or critters or anything that are able to be saved, you know, I think, you know, I think I gotta do what I gotta do, you know? So, it might be best to stay home, Jill, you're probably right, but if you're able to go out and help, I think you should go out and help, and that's just my opinion. And not everybody might not agree with that, and that's fine. It's okay. You know, I've worked in a lot of emergency situations. Back in my younger years, I've worked with FEMA and all kinds of things. I have been in a lot of disaster situations. I know what to do. I know what to watch out for. I know, you know, I'm not just going in blind, wild with, you know, just no idea what I'm doing. I know what I'm doing. Which is why I always try to go and help if I'm able. So, last night, you know, stepping over debris in the store and a lot of walking, and now today I'm about crippled. It's okay. I'm going to take some Tylenol and live with it. We were not in anybody's way. We were not hindering any emergency personnel. We were just trying to help a situation that nobody else was going. Andrea, they don't live here. They live a few counties away. They have another location, I think, in Madison County. So they had to drive all the way back here. They finally did get there. That's the part that kind of cracks me up. So the owner gets there about 3 a.m. or something like that. And Bannon was having the time of his life, y'all. He had 2 puppies, 1 in each arm, and he was dying to get in there with those. He wanted to hold those ferrets so bad. We may have to get him one at some point. But when the owner got there, I gave him a minute to catch his bearings and look at what he was looking at, his completely devastated business. And yeah, Diana, I know I wasn't the only ones. I've said that. There were a lot of people there, and a lot of people were helping, and there were a few people that were grabbing stuff to shove in their car to take, and I've seen that with my own eyes. So, here's the problem with our world today is, people saying like, oh, you shouldn't get involved with stuff, why? If I can safely, without endangering myself or anybody else, if I've got the ability to help somebody or some critter, I'm going to do it. That's just the way it is. I love you. That's the way it is. If I drive by a car accident on the highway and there's no emergency vehicle there yet, I'm going to stop. If I see an accident and I think somebody might be hurt, I'm going to stop. If I see a dog on the side of the road that's getting ready to get hit, I'm going to stop. And, if you don't agree with that, that's your prerogative. Okay, and guys, with the politics, drop it. Yeah, Camille, there were people looting from the pet store while we were there. So, yeah. Becky, what's up, girl? But yeah, so we were just trying to help, and now I'm branded a bird thief for life. That's okay. That's all right. The owners know what happened. They got most of the birds back. I think they lost, like I said, they lost one, and there may still be one of the birds unaccounted for. But you have to understand, their store got hit last night with probably an F3, F4 tornado. They came out pretty good, y'all, like for real. They came out pretty good. But anyway, so that's my story. That's my tornado story. And so, Anthony, of course, you have to understand, my Anthony is he has a sick sense of humor. And we were talking earlier, I was like, what am I going to cook for supper? He said, y'all don't get mad at me for this. We've had a day. It was kind of funny. He said, if I were you, he's not as nice as I am. He said, if I were you, I'd just go in there and I'd just go in there to Walmart and get a few Cornish game hens and come home and cook them and call it parrot a la mode. I was like, Anthony, you're so mean. No, thank you. Now, see, here's the thing about it. If this had been a farm store that got hit, and there had been baby chickens in there running around, or little pigs or something, y'all probably could have got me on that one. I would never steal, but it would have been a lot more tempting than a squalling parrot. I can tell you that right now. But anyway, long story short, guys, forget what you heard. I did not steal any birds, I promise. I did not steal anything, but here we are, Sheila Mervin, it's okay to stop and help my wife film it. Okay. Well, I got an answer for that too. So after that, when I did the video, we were fixing to leave, and I know that I have a lot of local people as well as people from everywhere else, and basically, I just wanted to kind of share what was going on, and whatever. It didn't have anything to do with anything really. It was just like, this is what's going on, this is what's happening, and here we are. Yeah. Yeah, there was a guy, one of the guys that helped with one of the macaws last night did get bit, and it really, really bit him. Like, I don't think you guys realize that aren't familiar with birds, but these large parrots like macaws and stuff and cockatoos, they have very powerful bites. Like, they can crush nuts with their, so they can take off a finger. Right, where would I, that's exactly right. Where would I hide a bunch of squalling parrots? I mean, what the heck? They were, Shelly, they were all in cages. They were in cages. They couldn't fly away. I think they lock them up in the big cages at night, and in the daytime at the pet store they're all out on this wooden perch, but at nighttime they have to go in their cage. Melanie, I kind of agree with you. I feel like that they really kind of did fuel the fire, and that's okay. I can take it. I'm pretty thick-skinned these days. I've gotten used to it. Julie, we kept him in the car with the heat on until the owner got there, and then everybody that had animals just put him in the car with him. I handed him over everything I had. They did finally take the post down, Melanie, but it was way later in the day, and they still have never issued any kind of retraction or any kind of like, hey, sorry, she didn't steal anything. She was kind of like, very helpful, thank you. Honey, we're married as we can be. I don't know what you're talking about. My last name is Cook. Legally, my last name is Cook. I never have changed to Baker. We got married late in life. I was 36 when I married Anthony. He was my third marriage, and I've been Cook since I got divorced. I never changed my name the second time either. So we weren't married long enough. The paperwork wouldn't have been back in time. So my first marriage ended in 2002, and I have been Cook ever since. So, Yep, I probably will be. I'll probably be on the most wanted list at the post office. Bird thief. Bird is the word. Bird is the word. No, I'm just joking. Well, and that's the other thing too. I just want to say for all my friends that are local and like seen all these posts today and went on there and took up for me and told people that I'm not a bird thief, I genuinely appreciate that. Yeah, tell the Eggman to watch out. Here comes the bird thief. Royal Cleaver. I've never been a Wilson. My mom was a Wilson. But that was her maiden name. My mom was a progressive lady. When she divorced my dad in 1985 or 86, she restored her maiden name. We do. Our power came on earlier today. And we've had power all day, so it's awesome. Yay. Well, I mean, it's optional, Khonshu. You have to go in and do all the paperwork. Like, I have to get a new social security card. I have to change my driver's license. I have to change it on all my credit cards. It's a lot of work. I'm not fooling with it. Anthony knows I'm his wife. He still comes to bed here every night. We know what's up. I don't need to change my last name to prove I'm married to a man. I got my marriage license and stuff. We're good. Oh, honey. Oh, honey. Yes. Tiny little parrot eggs, Etta. Hey, guys. Let's just stop the politics stuff. I don't want to hear about what Donald Trump did. I don't want to hear about what this no here did. I don't want to hear about none. Who cares? Like, honestly. Like, let's just leave that off of here. I tell you, it's funny. Whew, Lord. We don't do politics here. On the occasion when I get on my soapbox, I usually kick myself in the face over it for 3 or 4 days. Oh, Lord. Hey, listen, y'all. Last time we went, oh, hang on. Whoop, hey, sorry. I'm cold. That fan is like really. Yes, absolutely. It ain't that I don't want his name. Y'all don't take it like that. Lord, I love him. I'm a baker in spirit. Just not on paper. It's okay. It's alright. I mean, politics, bleh, boo. Teresa, the path of the tornado is a 1/4 mile from my house. We heard it go through. Yep. Do you carry a paper stating you're married? So in case... No, I don't. Anyway. Oh. So. Anyway, I love yous, but I'm gonna go because this baked ziti should be done. I gotta get it out of the oven. And then I gotta make me I bought one of them Caesar salad packs. That's got all the stuff in one bag. And I'm gonna mix it up and I got some canned chicken I'm gonna throw on it. That's all. I don't even want no food. I have made a pact with myself. Myself, we're gonna get this done. As soon as I can get to where I can use my leg again right, y'all about to see some things. But right now I'm just having to be real careful about what I eat. Because if I'm not exercising, I gotta start eating a lot less. Anyway. No, the tornado, there wasn't even a leaf turned over down there at our other property. We went down there today too. Alright guys, I'll see you tomorrow. I love yous. Hope yous have a good night. And I'll see y'all tomorrow. Bye.